Good morning, friends. I'm making a wheel of alpine cheese, which is cultured with Clabber culture, and I decided to make a free mini course on using Clabber culture, how to start your own Clabber culture, how to use Clabber culture, and how to make this wheel of cheese specifically. So it's going to be available to everybody who's already bought my cheese course, probably this week for sure. Everybody else, it might be another week. I might wait until after Thanksgiving. We'll see. But this cheese is just amazing for milkmaids to make, or milkmen. You're dealing with a lot of milk and you're, busy with milking the cows and caring for the cow, but you want to make good cheese too. This one is so fast. Very little hands-on time, and it makes an excellent cheese, similar to like a Asiago, I'd say. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. Like this one is how I, instead of having to strain the whole pot, I can scoop out. It's like the curds have sunk and they've kind of made a wheel in the bottom, and I can tuck it around without having to dump the curds through a strainer or whatever. So I just have strived to take all the things I've learned over all the years and make the most straightforward cheese possible for you to make, because that's the goal. I want you to make good cheese, no BS. So here it is when it's ready to be flipped, and it looks great. Definitely a good looking wheel of cheese. I can't wait to eat this. It was Hamish's birthday and bacon was on the menu, of course. He was having a birthday party a few days after the actual day of his birth.
You guys want to try that one out? Just let me know, and then I can start with it. I want to try. You want to try it? African. Me too. So it was here. Okay.
Friends of ours were under the weather, so I brought them this Good Cheap Eats blog recipe called Hands-Free Cashew Chicken. It'll get baked and stirred together, and it's delicious. I made it for us too. Ham and potato soup, rice to go with the cashew chicken, of course, and 2 loaves of sourdough bread. So this should keep them well fed for a bit. It's only 2 of them, and we want them to eat well while resting up. So something that we have happened to us is there's a handful of farmers who will reach out to us if they have a cow that needs to be slaughtered, but that they can't send to the slaughterhouse. So there is rules about the health of an animal to go to a slaughterhouse. So like a cow has to be able to walk across the kill room floor without a limp or anything. So if a cow got a bad foot and the best course of action was to butcher it, they can't actually bring it to the slaughterhouse. So if their freezers are full, they'll call us to see if we need it. Otherwise, we kind of facilitate it going to someone else. So tomorrow, we facilitated one where Marius is both of his brothers and his dad and a neighbor of ours are going with 2 trucks to a neighboring farm to get 2 beef cows that have a bad eye, and they've been okayed by the vet, but they can't be shipped. They can't go to the slaughterhouse. So they shoot them there, and load them in the trucks, and then they'll bring them to our house and use our tractor to hang them, to skin them and gut them. And then we actually don't have time to butcher right away, but we have access to a cooler. We just have to pay for the electricity to run it, which is like $50 or $60 a week. So we're gonna use it for 2 weeks. It's gonna hang there, and then in 2 weeks, everybody's gonna come back to our house because we have such a big, beautiful kitchen. We have the meat grinder, we have the knowledge, we have all the things. They'll all come here and we'll do a big butcher day. We're actually gonna do a bunch of pressure canning. My brother-in-law is gonna bring his pressure canner. I have two, my neighbor's gonna bring one, and we're also just gonna like pressure can a bunch of it. So it's not like your tender grilling steaks. It will be ground beef and slow cooking roasts. But the flavor in an older cow that's had longer time to develop the flavor, it's unreal, guys. Like, it's amazing. It's the most flavorful beef you'll ever eat. No kidding. Anyhow, all this to say, they're gonna be at our house about lunchtime tomorrow, and it's cold out, so I wanna have a warm meal for them, so I thought I would show you what I have going on. I found out they were gonna be here at lunchtime. I took a frozen ham out of the freezer. It's not a huge ham, it's probably 3 or 4 pounds. And I put it in the crock pot with onion, garlic, celery, bay leaves, peppercorns, and filled it with water. In the morning, I will strain it and I'll have a decent broth, and then I'll have all the meat. So in the morning, I'll make it into, I think, a ham and potato soup. I might even take it really easy and use canned potatoes, make it super simple. And then I had already mixed up bread, so it was perfect. This is like 1/3 fresh ground hard red wheat, and the rest bread flour, sourdough slathered in butter, and I'll serve it with butter. Make sure there's butter out. We have 2 different butter dishes out. Look at the color of that butter, guys. Just Jersey gold, friends. Anyhow, butter, cheese, soup. We feed extra people like at least once a week. And I just really like to keep it simple. Like, if we have a bigger group, I almost always try for it to be like a 1-pot meal. We often host people for fellowship on Sundays, and Marius actually usually makes the soup, and I make bread or biscuits or something. And we just really love to just make simple but delicious, filling, nutritious, delicious meals to serve company. So the cows are here. They have our neighbor brought their tractor over too. Each tractor has a cow, and they're attached, and they're down lower because they'll start skinning around their ankles and their hind legs, and then they'll raise them up. They do the skinning and gutting here, and then they'll drive over there where there's clean snow. Sorry, they'll do the gutting here, and then they'll move to where there's clean snow to do the skinning to keep it as clean as possible.